Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Liban Ali, and as President of the United States, I decree... Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm here today at Sadler's Hall to play Saints Row 4, well, basically to preview it. I had a chance to interview one of the developers from the team, Boone. So basically we'll give you guys insight on the game, we talk about it for a bit, its features, and basically I hope you enjoy it. Sitting next to Jim Boone, the senior producer on the game. So Jim, how's it going? How you doing?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I just quickly played through the opening segment. It was crazy. It was fun. You know, so some pretty mad stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
Saints Row 4. Obviously, Saints Row the 3rd came before it. And obviously, from that time between THQ and Deep Silver, there was a slight developer change and whatnot. But before we get into that, I just wanted to ask. So, obviously, the Saints Row series is known for its really over-the-top, crazy stuff. So, what's happening? What's happening this time?
Yeah, so obviously this time is we've taken it even further than we have in Saints Row the 3rd, and right now what we've got is you become the President of the United States, and we start off the game where we show you how you become President, and that was what you just had a chance to experience, and so we give you a little bit of an origin story that way. And then ultimately, as you become President, that's when aliens invade. And what's going on is that they're called the Zin, and they go around throughout the galaxy, taking over world after world. But the way that they do it is they'll go around and they will capture people and try to indoctrinate them, and they'll try to break their mind. So rather than just trying to kill people, they want them to become part of the Zin.
Right.
And so they end up kidnapping various leaders of the world, including you, the President of the United States, along with your other members of your cabinet, which happen to be your homies from previous Saints Row games.
All right, cool. Because I was taken quite aback when I first saw the Zin, especially during so when the segment when you're in the White House or whatnot, and you first come across the Zin leader. That accent just threw me off completely. I didn't even expect that. How did that even come about?
Oh my God, yeah. Our creative director at Volition, his name is Steve Jaros. He's come up with a lot of these crazy ideas, and this is kind of his mastermind in terms of coming up with a leader of these aliens that isn't the typical alien you would expect. I think that everyone would imagine, the gravelly voice and menacing, and instead to make him very sophisticated and it's just not what you expect, which in our opinion is very much Saints Row. We love to do things that you don't necessarily expect are going to come, and something that's a little bit different than the typical game. So we've had a lot of fun with him.
Now the leader, he's the President of the United States, and he's got superpowers. So please just explain that to me.
Yeah, how in the heck does that happen, right? So one of the things we did very early on when we were trying to figure out what is Saints Row 4 going to be and what kind of features are going to add to the game. And one of the earliest things we came up with was superpowers. In fact, it was the first major new feature for Saints Row 4. And the thought there was just we wanted to be able to break things up and just had a lot of fun to the game by being able to bring these superpowers to the game. So things like, getting in a car and going from A to B is something you can still do in the game, right? But it's been a hallmark of any of the Saints Row games. But imagine now that I have just super sprinting where I can just run through the roads, or I can have super leaping where I can just jump over buildings if I want to. I have these crazy superpower offensive abilities like freezing people, in solid ice, and just basically it changes up the way that you navigate through the world and the way that you do combat. And so we thought it was just going to be a ton of fun to be able to do that. And so when we talked about the fact that the player has these superpowers, and the Zin, these aliens, are trying to capture people, that's what gave us the ability to do this. So again, when I talked about the fact that they put you in this virtual version of Steelport to try to break your will, because it's a virtual version, that's what allows you to bend the rules and change things so that you can get superpowers. So you basically you have to go through the game. Very early on, we give you these superpowers, right, and you use those superpowers to help continue to fight when you're in the simulation. But when you're outside of the simulation, because you do break out of it while you're trying to go and rescue your other people and ultimately fight the Zin in the real world, you don't have superpowers there. But that's where we do we get really crazy missions there that are very change of pace. So while you might miss some of your superpowers, the mechanics you have are going to vary enough that I think the people will still be very entertained by what's going on in the real world. But that's how it works, though, is that you've got the superpowers in the virtual world.
Lastly, say that I wanted to start my own gang.
Yeah.
And I wanted you, Jim, to be a part of it. we'd go crazy, we'd do some crazy stuff. Would you be a part of my gang?
Of course. Gotta be part of the gang.
I mean, you said it now. You can't go back. You can't go back on it. Yeah, you can't.
It's on camera now.
Camera and
yeah,
everything.
right. Exactly. Yep. Has to be done.
Definitely will. I mean, thanks a lot for speaking with us. Go check out Saints Row. Will be coming out pretty soon this August, and me and Jim will see you later when we start up our gang.
America! Hell yeah! Hail to the mother chief.